Good.
I think if they're having,
They're going to cremation and buried later. Yeah, I bet.
okay.
Because they haven't contacted the cemetery yet.
Yeah, there was a little thing in the paper yesterday, but the age was 67. And Nathan and I both, we thought,
No, she's 97.
right. And we thought, well, is it or not? And then the day there was the whole obituary. Because I wasn't sure she was still living yet or not. So,
Well, she got a little hard to handle, and the ladies at Cherry Arbors didn't care for her. So they shipped her off, and she went over to Urbana, and her family did pretty good about visiting with her and everything. I figured anybody who's married to a bullock and didn't kill them. I'm cool with that, so.
but she was a nice, very nice lady. She really was.
It was the last of the old generation, and let me tell you, them old Germans, to put up with them even 2 days, I would have done something else. So I always thought, no, but I did think it would be nice if somebody from the side made a pit stop in there and said howdy. Others may show up, I don't know, but we don't have anyone left anymore, so.
I understand. Everybody on the my side of the older generation is all gone too. So
I know, it just,
it's so scary when you know it's your generation. You know,
hey, my generation's already retired from teaching and all this, and yeah, we're getting old. I'd go over and flirt with the firemen so I could feel young again. That'd be great. Thank you.
One pin's not enough? All right, let's check.
I'm gonna trick them. I'm not gonna say a thing tonight. Mess with their minds. Ain't like it's an empty room. They're just cobwebs. Everybody else gets coffee. Oh, you got a coffee too? Can I really yours real quick? I'll give it right back.
Scratch off 260. I have to make that. 260.
Well, it's after some.
I gotta get it all done before the meeting starts. You know how I like to do this.
Just saying.
All right, I'm going to call the meeting North Lewisburg Village Council order, March 4th, 2014. Roll call.
Beach. Here. Hollingsworth. Here. Murphy.
Here.
Scott. Here. Spain. Here. Warner.
Here.
Okay, I'll give the council 10 minutes to pass around the books to go over there. stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty with justice for all. We'll have the reading of the minutes of the last scheduled meeting.
February 4th, 2014, 7 p.m. Under Council President, in the absence of Mayor Fran, Council President Ted Murphy called the meeting to order. Roll call was answered by all 6 council members. All present joined in the Pledge of Allegiance. A few minutes were given to council members to review the January reports. January minutes, bills, mayor's court report, mayor, water and sewer reports were approved. Acting Mayor Ted Murphy introduced Mr. Matt Sheridan, Superintendent of Triad Schools, and welcomed him to the meeting. Mr. Murphy also introduced Mr. Ed Fleeman, representative of All American Energy Cooperative Association Incorporated, who updated those present on the natural gas project. The next step in the process will be the distribution of a questionnaire to all residents, followed by a public meeting to kick off the application drive. After the public meeting, a community action group will be educated about natural gas and the cooperative purpose. The group would be trained to work as a sales force that would go door to door to encourage residents to make the switch from propane to natural gas. Mr. Fleeman said he believes there is enough of a market that residents won't be charged a tie-in fee. He said that would be determined a few months from now when the membership drive is complete. Under the administrator updated the council on the 2014 Allied Waste schedule and informed them of an invitation from Cherry Arbors for a civic dinner to be held Thursday, February 20th at 5 p.m. Under policing, Deputy Brian Dixon gave the January policing report. Under resolutions and ordinance, Mr. Murphy read Resolution 204-2014, sale of village property, and asked for a motion to accept the resolution. Matt Warner made the motion to accept, seconded by Spain, all members in favor. The first reading of Ordinance 259, an ordinance governing the use and operation of golf carts within the village of North Lewisburg, Ohio. Second reading will be at the March council meeting with open meeting discussion. Hearing of the citizens. In response to the noise complaint at the January meeting, the band members involved were present, explaining they try very hard not to be a disturbance to the surrounding neighbors. They in turn are helping any kids that want to learn to play the instruments. In the absence of Joe Willis, Susan Spain explained a little about the local food pantry, which will operate on the opposite week as the truck at Cherry Arbors. They will have food and some paper products and will accept any donations. They could use another freezer if someone has one they would like to donate. They plan to be open once a month and there's no charge for the items. The Community Blessing Fund, Church of Christ, the North Lewisburg Methodist Church, and the Catholic Church are all involved with this project. Matt Perry, treasurer of the Triad Junior Baseball, had some questions regarding the light bill at the park. The administrator informed him a minimum amount is needed for the shelter house and the restrooms. Trevor Clark was introduced as our new employee, replacing Tyler Burton. With no other business, Scott made a motion to adjourn the meeting, seconded by Beach. All in favor, meeting adjourned.
You all have heard the minutes of the last scheduled meeting. Is there any additions, deletions, or corrections? If not, they'll stand as read.
I have one. It says Community Blessing Fund, Church of Christ. Well, it's Church of Christ and Christian Union. Thank you.
Then it'll stand as read with the change. Next under the agenda is, starts mine. First of all, I'd like to give a thank you to the Cherry Arbors. I know they're not here, but for providing, but also hosting the civic dinner. There was probably about 35 attendees that was down there the night for dinner. They provided spaghetti, salad, and dessert, and so I'd just like to extend that thanks to them. Next under mine is the 2013 State of the Village Address. I'd like to start out by giving a big thanks to the following people: Administrator Andy Yoder, Fiscal Officer Court Clerk Diane Davis, Utility Clerk Jane Leiter, Street Superintendent Bart Stokes, Water and Wastewater Superintendent Trevor Clark, Village Deputies Brian Dixon and Deputy Lyons and Dennis Lyons, part-time employees Bob Davis Jr. and Norma Mulliner, council members, boards and committees of the Village of North Lewisburg. Thanks to all for their unselfish giving to the village and promoting our fine community. I want to take the opportunity to welcome the new business that came to our community in 2013. The Dollar General store, which is located on the east side of the village, opened in the late summer. I've heard nothing but good things from the community residents I've spoken with about the store. I would also like to welcome Subway to the village, which will be opening this year. I would like to encourage the residents to support all our local businesses. The financial state of the village of North Lewisburg is we remain fiscally sound in these tough economic times. Also, we are committed to making sound financial decisions when it comes to the expenditures involving the residents' tax dollar. We've seen a decrease in the income tax revenue of $5,110.70 in 2013 compared to the 2012 figures. We've looked at this figure to increase in 2014 and have budgeted accordingly. This will be in part due to joining the subpoena program that is in place to collect delinquent taxes. In 2013, our expenditures was 24.6% under appropriations budgeted, and revenues were 11.2% above appropriated. This figure is also decreased from 2012 when expenditures were 35.5% under appropriations, while revenue was only 6.2% above. In the first 2 months comparison, 2013 to 2014, we're 5.3% below in revenue and 1.5% over in expenditures currently. The revenue decrease is due to the state reimbursements for a project at the sewer plant that we received in 2012 that we won't, or 2013 that we won't receive in 2014. And the expenditures increase is due to the purchase of the village police cruiser and also winter weather related issues that's happened throughout the village. The projects completed in 2013 were the completion of crack sealing throughout the village. Employees planted trees in front of the municipal building as well as the Veterans Monument at the Village Park. The trees at the park were purchased by local residents, Donald Coleman Sr., Barry First, and Dave Spain. The spring community cleanup was a big success again in 13 without any major problems. During the week, over 14 tons was removed, bringing our 4-year total to around 60 tons. I want to thank all the residents for the village for taking pride in the community and cleaning properties up. This year's spring cleanup will be May 3rd through the 9th. Resolutions passed in 2013 was Resolution 25-2013, state for the sale of the village property via websites. Resolution 35213A, allowing the administrator to sit in place of the mayor on Champaign County EMA Executive Committee. Resolution 35213B, allowing the administrator to sit in place of the mayor on Champaign County Health District Board and Advisory Council. Resolution 4213, declaring spring cleanup week. Resolution 6413, allowing mayor to prepare and submit application to Ohio Public Works Commission. Resolution 9313, donation to the state of Ohio for a parcel of land for construction of ADA compliant sidewalk ramps. Resolution 9313A, accepting the amounts and rates determined by the Budget Committee and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. Ordinances in 2013, Ordinance 255A, adopting the 2013 Ohio Basic Code. Ordinance 257, authorizing the issuance of $30,000 of bonds for the acquisition of an emergency law enforcement vehicle. Ordinance 258, ODOT State Route Maintenance Agreement for 245 and 559. Proclamations in 2013, declaring September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. proclamation to Richard Bishop for his unselfish giving to his community. A proclamation thanking Dale and Evelyn Benedict for their years of service to the village. Upcoming 2014 projects is a repair on the municipal building roof, repair on both roofs at the water and wastewater plant, street paving if money's allowed, repair of the walking path at the village park, repair of 3 manholes on Maple Street, replacement of 2 fire hydrants to include watch valves for isolation, sealing of the current multi-use path and bike path extension completion between Sycamore and Maple and possibly between Maple and Railroad. Next is 2014 final budget. There's only been a couple changes since our temporary budget, and the main change is in the general fund for allocating the money for the police cruiser and the loan payment that goes into that fund. So with our estimated carryover, the general fund was bumped up more, bringing our total carryover for 2013 to $778,500. Investment CDs of $412,722. Estimated revenue in 2014 is $1,022,050. Total available for appropriations is $2,213,272. And estimated expenditures for the budget this year is $1,375,531. If you go to the recap, it's just got the $778,500, our revenue, the investment, and the next is less the CD, and with the CD it comes up our total amounts that's available for appropriations, our estimated appropriation or expenditure budget, and then the estimated minus the CD, and then adding the CD back in. So I need a motion to pass a permanent budget of $1,375,531.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Roll call. Luce?
Yes.
Hollingsworth? Yes. Murphy?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Spain?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next thing I was presented from the utility clerk. You all have a copy in your packet to council to total of 7 water debts and sewer debts she'd like to take off the account, so they stop printing bills every month. We've done this before. Some of these houses are HUD houses, some of them are foreclosed houses, and she would just like to clear them off the books. It's been moved. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Warner?
Yes.
Spain?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Murphy?
Yes.
Hollingsworth?
Yes.
And Beach?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next is community policing by Deputy Dixon.
We're pretty busy, myself and Deputy Lyons, we're busy for the month of February. We had 4 traffic citations, 3 warnings, 5 reports that we took, 12 AGs to the citizens. We arrested 1 person. We only had 1 paper to serve. We did 19 follow-ups this month, 0 open doors, 6 instances of juvenile contact, 13 civic activities here in the village, as well as 0 accidents. And per the usual, I try to point out something. I like to make the village aware of mine and Deputy Lyons' efforts. And if the citizens haven't noticed, it's been pretty obvious, for me at least. A lot of you have seen a second car sometimes here in the evening. The canine officer, his name is Deputy Allender. He was put with his dog back in July or August, I believe. And the county as a whole, especially myself, myself and Deputy Lyons, we run a lot of traffic here in the village. You know, it's a good way to find out for the citizens, you know, essentially who's coming through, you know, through the town, you know, with 245 running, you know, into Marysville and into Union County. I mean, there is a lot of drugs that we find on traffic stops. So I myself have been using Deputy Allender and his dog, Ike, pretty extensively. I can tell you that last week, I believe it was, we made a traffic stop where we found, it was on 2 individuals where we found heroin and drug abuse instruments in the car. Needless to say, those are both felonies, and those 2 individuals will be summoned into felony court. So if you guys see the dog out and about, that's what we're doing. We call it drug interdiction. It's not just here in North Lewisburg that we're doing that. Deputy Allender also works with the St. Pierce Police Department as well as the Mechanicsburg Police Department in an effort to kind of get some of the drugs out of the motor vehicles and keep them from coming into the community. So once again, if you guys see the dog out and about, that's absolutely what we're doing. We're doing drug interdiction to try to keep the drugs out of North Lewisburg. So are there any questions on that?
I have one over here.
Just
Or just a comment. The last couple of weeks, and when the weather gets a little bit nicer, we get teased every once in a while right now. But, and twice in the last 2 weeks, I leave around 6:30 in the morning to go to work.
okay.
I've been passed by cars right here in town, early in the morning. And by the time they get down at the end of town, before they even get out of the 35 zone, they're going 65 or 70. I didn't know if, what I worry about is at that point in time, the high school kids and some of the other kids are walking and getting to bus stops.
Right.
And I didn't know, I think they're comfortable in knowing maybe some things aren't being watched at that time.
Right.
And I am worried about the kids out at that point in time.
Right, and I will agree with that. I believe I've been assigned to patrol the village for the last, I believe it's been almost 2 years. And upon my appointment to the village, I was told that Honda traffic is terrible between, you know, this specific time in the morning and this specific time in the afternoon. I can't directly comment on the morning hours as I'm not assigned to patrol at those times. I do know that Deputy Lyons comes in fairly early. I'm not sure how much he adjusts his schedule around. As for myself, just in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say probably 3 weeks, you know, we do have some flexibility, you know, thanks to the mayor, on our schedules. And there were some days where I should say some evenings rather, where I stayed until, you know, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, you know, in the morning. This just being last week, to try to change it up and try to catch some things where, you know, where that comfort zone. You know, we try to keep everybody guessing. We don't want people to know when we're in town,
Right.
because if people know when we're in town, then they know what they can get away with at what times. So you're absolutely right in that aspect. The best thing I can offer would be to speak with Deputy Lyons to see if, you know, if he wants to, you know, come in 3 or 4 hours earlier, I should say. So that way, when that time does hit, he's available, you know, to. It's easier said than done to try to set a speed trap, if you will. I mean, we have regulations set by the sheriff's office. You know, for example, we can't completely black out. We have to have some sort of light on, whether that be, you know, running lights or headlights. And a lot of times, just based on experience, that gives, you know, that kind of gives it away. So it's hard in that aspect, but I can definitely talk to Deputy Lyons for you to see if there's something that we can set up. You said it's mainly here on Maple Street?
Yeah, I've been twice right here in front of the municipal building in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Like I said, the main worry is you have it's still dark, it's getting a little bit lighter when we're getting ready for the time change. And the kids are going to the school bus stops and whatnot, and a lot of them have dark jackets and stuff. So you really got to be watching where, and I'm just afraid that, especially right in here, something happens.
Okay. Well, I will definitely speak to Deputy Lyons for you, sir.
Actually, Brian, I already made contact with Dennis and said you guys
And that's the only way that we can do things is when it's brought to our attention. The Triad High School actually brought to my attention, I believe there's a bus that stops at the Methodist Church down here. And there were numerous occasions last school year where the bus was being passed